going to talk to you a little bit about my personal hobbies, what I'm passionate about. I'm a very athletic person since I was a child, and to this day I enjoy working out. I live a healthy lifestyle. I like to I don't have a particular type of exercise that I prefer. I actually enjoy the challenge. So back in May of last year, my girlfriend asked me if I wanted to train for and run a half marathon. In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, is she out of her mind? But somehow I blurted out, sure, sounds like fun. Fun, I don't think was actually the word I was looking for, but at the moment that just seemed like the best descriptor. Tommy Lasorda is a former baseball player and manager of the LA Dodgers. He actually put it best when he said, the difference between the impossible and the possible lies in a person's determination. So when I was given this challenge, I was determined to make it happen. And the way to do that, I knew I had about 3 to 4 months to prepare for this race, and I knew that I had to have the proper training, I had to be disciplined, and most importantly, I had to have the right equipment. So, in terms of training, Frank Shorter is actually an All-American long-distance runner. He won the marathon in the Olympics, I believe back in the 70s. And he actually, in an article, he quoted, or excuse me, he discussed that there's really 2 components to training. Number 1 is putting your miles in, and number 2, it's having a proportioned diet, okay? I don't know about you guys, but a half marathon is 13.1 miles. That is a very long distance on foot, not in your car, but on foot. So it's very important. I'm actually going to pass out here. There's 2 sides to this handout, but if you wouldn't mind just focusing on the first side. I have a sample training program here, and basically what's really important is that you have to increase your distance over the course of the program, okay? So there's different types of training. You have long distance runs, you have interval runs, you have speed work, which builds your endurance and your stamina, and then you also have on the weekends your longer runs. So this was a program that was put together, and it's very important to follow a training program like this because, again, it increases your mileage and it helps you get to your end goal, which is hopefully completing that race. The second component that Frank Shorter spoke to was a proportion diet. And when he says proportion, he's talking about 3 pieces of the diet. It's carbohydrates, it's protein, and it's fats. So if I'm going to throw out 3 numbers, by show of hands, can you tell me which one you think goes to each? So if I told you 60%, 25%, and 15%, which one do you think is the 60% in terms of proportion in your diet? Again, it's carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. You want to throw it out there?
Carbs.
Gentlemen in the back is correct. It's actually carbs, and the reason being is you need that energy, especially for those long runs. So it's very important to have that balanced diet. So training is the most important piece of preparing for a race. However, in order to get that training program down, you really need to be disciplined, and you really need to have that dedication to meet that goal. Okay? In terms of discipline, I like to view it in two ways. So one is time management, which is critical. The other is your motivation. So time management, I actually conducted 2 interviews for a reason. Number 1 is that I wanted to have a variation of experience with running, and number 2, I actually interviewed a man and a woman. I just wanted to get the different perspectives of the training and the time management. So I interviewed a friend of mine named Carla, and I asked her, Howard, Mr. Alter, I interviewed him, and what he said was very important in terms of time management is early to bed, early to rise, and you'd really be amazed at how much you can get done between 5 and 7 a.m. So in terms when you're working full-time and you're managing a family and you're managing outside activities, it's really important to get those runs in. So anyway, discipline is very important. Again, your time management, your motivation. Like I said, training is definitely number one important. Your discipline is number two, but you can't really have either without your third component, which is having the right equipment. So it is a costly investment. However, it's absolutely worth the investment. Importantly, excuse me, if you'll turn over your handout, I have on there talking about your arch type, your shoe type, and kind of your foot alignment. So what's really important here is you have to be fitted for your shoes to determine what shoe type you have. If you guys actually look at the bottom of your shoes, for women if you're wearing heels it might be difficult, but you'll see how you pronate, meaning how you hit the ground when you walk and run. If you're hitting it flat, if you're hitting it more on the outsides or more on the insides, you can tell that by looking at the bottoms of your shoes. Having the right clothing is important, and also training materials like a watch, the right socks, music is helpful as well. So all in all, after we just talked about the 3 ways to prepare for a race, who's up for one? Anyone? No? All right, well, my thoughts exactly. So in conclusion, last night when my girlfriend asked me to run the race, I really thought she was crazy. But you know what? I was determined to make it happen. I trained hard. I was disciplined in my actions. And I went out and invested in the right equipment. Not only did I complete the half marathon, which was in September, but I also did century bike rides. I completed a 10-miler, and in November, I actually did a full marathon. So I encourage you guys to do one. If you want to do it together, let me know. But thank you for your time.